It's Marilyn Alortic, medium, teacher, and coach, and I'm super excited to talk to you about your soul's purpose. Do you know what your soul's purpose is? There is so much information out there about finding your purpose that it gets really confusing for people. I see a lot of people get really frightened and they don't know what to do or what steps to take. They're afraid if they make the wrong decision, they're going to mess everything up. So they get really frozen and they don't take any action at all. And that's why I want to talk to you about why it's more important to be soul aligned than to actually worry about your purpose, because your purpose constantly evolves as you grow. So getting aligned with your soul is what is going to bring your purpose about as it shifts and changes. So if you're interested in this topic, I'm going to be talking about it here today, but I'm also doing a very special call where you can come join me and ask me questions, and I'm going to bring my guidance in to help you as well. So if you want to get invited to that call, type in purpose down below, and you're going to get an invite to that call and get the information about that call. So that's all you do is type in purpose, and you'll get some information in the ManyChat Messenger about when that call is going to take place. And we are going to be talking about why it's more important to be aligned with your soul, and then your purpose comes from that. And then on this particular call, you're also going to get to ask me questions and ask my guides questions. It's not going to be a call on Facebook. This is going to be something that we do as a private little powwow. So definitely do that. Type that in below and check it out. So I want to talk to you about I'm going to leave that up there because I know a lot of people are going to benefit from that call. I want to talk to you about a lot of things that the reason why I feel this topic is so super important. Like, as a reader, and as you know, I don't really do readings anymore. I only do them for people in membership. But as a medium, as a reader, I used to get really frustrated when people would come to me and I would be doing a reading with them. And then when in the beginning of the reading, they're not allowed to talk and stuff. And then we'd start talking and they would say to me, I was told that I was a healer. I was told I was a speaker. I was told I was an author, but I don't know what that means. And they'd be frozen in time, not knowing what actions to take. So they took no action at all. So they would be so afraid that they would fuck up their purpose, for the lack of a better word, that they just would decide to do nothing at all. And they would just sit there with this amazing information that they received, not from me, because usually I get it very detailed in the information, that they were a healer or they were an author, but they didn't know what it meant for their own personal life. And they were so afraid of getting it wrong. If you relate to this, tell me down in the comments that you relate to this. And also tell me if this has ever happened to you, because I've seen it happen to a lot of people. So I'm putting the word purpose up there because I am inviting you to a private call, not on Facebook, where you are going to get to talk with me and my guides about your purpose. So definitely check that out and we will send you information about that. So let me just see who's here. Let me just check in and see what's happening. Purpose, purpose, purpose. Yippee! Okay, so it seems like everybody wants to join that call. It seems like it's a hot topic. Am I right? It's totally a hot topic. And I'm going to tell you my own story, and we're going to get into your purpose today. So just know that we're going to go through different things like I'm going to be coaching you on this topic. I'm going to be talking to you about it. I'm going to give you a couple of pointers to start having you think about it right away. So let me ask you first right now in the comments, do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what your purpose is? And then I'm going to discuss why that particular question can really mess you up. Like, think about it. What is your purpose? Tell me first if you know what you think it is, and then we will move from there. So let's see what we've got. I know there's usually a delay and my computer is acting weird. What a shock. All right. Cindy says, I totally relate. I've been told, Cindy, and when you're a soul star, make sure you do hashtag soul star. And if you're in SFA, Soul Finder Academy, do hashtag, I had a new one for it, but I can't think of it right now. So we'll just do hashtag SFA, if you're a soul finder as well. She says, I totally relate. I've been told I'm a healer many times, but I've learned many modalities and nothing feels right. Cindy's in membership. This is so great. And I'm going to answer this question for you. So when I'm working with spiritual entrepreneurs and I'm teaching people how to get in touch with their particular brand, this is one of the areas we talk about in detail because it's really important. A lot of people go out there and they study one modality, and maybe they're a theta healer or matrix energetics, or you do equestrian healing and you do a lot of different healing. And they think that if they don't label themselves as that one particular healer, then they get lost. They feel like, oh, then people aren't going to understand who I am. I'm a mishmash. I'm not doing what they're telling me in this school. I'm not necessarily doing everything they're telling me in that school. So therefore, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm confused. When the actuality is, you're a healer with the combination of all those modalities, and not only the modalities, your life experience gets wrapped into that. Your teachers that you've had, your boyfriends that have who have created your experiences, all of that, what you've studied, what you've read, what you've just lived, gets rolled into being a healer. So how could you possibly, because we teach what we know as healers. We are attracted to people that had the same struggles as us. So how could you possibly learn how your life experience is going to serve you as a healer when you're studying? And I don't put any of these modalities down. I think they're beautiful. When you're studying Reiki, Reiki's teaching that particular modality. They're not going to teach Cindy when Joe broke up with you when you were 15 and you learned this incredible lesson around boundaries that made you be able to go out into the world in a whole different way, and is going to help your client when she's struggling with the same thing and throw some Reiki healing on that. They can't teach you that. Only your soul can teach you that. That's why it's so important to be soul aligned and not just worry about your purpose. Okay, I'm going to check in with some other people, but for those who are just joining, I have a very special call just for my audience, where I am going to be talking more about this in detail, not on Facebook, in a Zoom call. And I'm going to be taking your questions and bringing in my guides. My members who are on here know how I work when I do some reading stuff that comes in, because they get that privately in their group. So definitely put in purpose. Let's see who else we have here with some comments. Hi, Lisa, Soul Star. Hi, Lori, another Soul Star. Becky says, spiritual psychic, not sure. Okay. So she's not sure about her purpose, but she's got a passion there of spirituality, of psychic abilities. How many of you know that your passions lead to your purpose? How many of you recognize that? How many of you know? Give me the likes, the loves, and please, everybody ask Facebook to give me stars. Like, I want the stars in there, not the likes and the loves only. So let me know about that. Your passion is your purpose. And this is where people get tripped up. I'll say to people when they're struggling, they'll be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. And I'll be like, what are you passionate about? What do you really enjoy? What's your joy? Well, I like walking the dogs. And I'm like, okay, so that's your joy. That's a passion right there. Yeah, but I don't know how to make a career out of this. I don't want to be a dog walker. And I'm like, I'm not telling you to be a dog walker. Just go out and be in the experience of walking the dogs. Because while you're out in the experience of the joy, all of a sudden the universe goes, oh, her light's on. Her light's on. We're going to come bring in this person now who's going to speak to her and really speak to her truth and help her to expand even more in alignment with her soul, so she discovers more of why she's here and how she's meant to spend her time here. Your soul's purpose is about how you're meant to spend your time here on earth. It's not only about serving others. It's about how do you serve yourself. My job is not a job. My job is not just a career. My job is a way of life. It's a life that I love. I love what I do for a living. And when something doesn't really work for me in my business, I change it. I pivot. I don't stay stuck because I'm constantly in communication with my soul. Therefore, I know when something's out of alignment. And I'll be like, this happened with readings. This doesn't have the same spark it used to have. But all my income was coming from that. I'm paying a mortgage, living on my own. And if I stayed in that purpose, that was my purpose. That's what I was told my purpose was. I wouldn't be where I am today. But instead, I got into dialogue with my soul, with my guides, which are a reflection of my soul, brought it back home, and discovered the next evolution to my purpose? Do you see what I'm doing here? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to take some of your questions. For those who are just joining, make sure that you type in purpose, because I'm doing a very special call about this, where you're invited on outside of, it's going to be a Zoom call. You're outside of Facebook, and you're going to be invited to a call about this particular topic, and you're going to get to ask me questions. Okay. So I'm going to let that crawl for a little bit, and let's see who else is here. So Stacy, hi Stacy. I would beg to differ, Stacy, because I'm getting to know you in membership, right? So Soul Star, is it sad? She's a Soul Star. Is it sad that I can't find anything I'm passionate about? So Stacy, let me ask you right now, what in membership that you've studied or have studied, or maybe it's just the community, what in membership for your soul do you really like? Because you've been in there for a while, so I know if you didn't like it, you'd be gone. What in membership for your soul do you really like? Let's start there, and then I'll come back to you. But make sure you answer. And by the way, your comment came in at 12:12, which is great. Okay. So Tina says, I have way too many things that bring me joy. I spend a lot of time making things. Great. Nothing wrong with having a lot of different interests. What happens with spiritual entrepreneurs, or people that have a spiritual, they want to make a living with spiritual entrepreneurial work, is we have a lot of interests. We're very creative, right? And if you box them up and think that you can't do them all because, one, your mother told you can't make a living with those little craft dolls that you're making, or two, you studied math and accounting in college and now you're wanting to paint all day. So if you box these things up, you're never going to find what's really aligned with your soul. So one of the things Spirit taught me early on was I was worked behind the scenes in TV. I was a production manager, so I learned about budgeting. It's where I won my Emmy. You know, it's where I learned about budgeting. It's where I learned about finances. It's where I learned about organizing big groups. It's where I learned how to lead big groups and how to make things successful on a big production. You know, I did the Bill Clinton Forum and things like that. And then I was an actress, so that's where I learned how to do improv and write on my feet and be seen on a camera. And then I started doing readings, and my spirituality, which I was always spiritual, but opened up to a whole other level. And then I was writing all through that too. I love to write, but I was boxing them all up into boxes. And it was tripping me up because I didn't know how to make it all work together. And I thought, I can't do it all. No, because I was told from society, you can't do it all. You got to pick one if you're going to succeed. And then a good friend of mine was like, it's all supposed to go together. And then my guides were like, it's all supposed to go together. And lo and behold, it does. The reason why I wanted to act was I wanted to touch people's lives. And at that time when I was a kid, that was the way to touch people's lives. The reason why I like to write is because I like to tell people stories to touch their lives and maybe motivate them into something in their own life to help them believe in themselves. The acting stuff got me comfortable on screen also. The production stuff got me teaching me how to organize groups. And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, I was just talking to somebody, they don't know how to run a business. I know how to run a business. So I can get out there. And then I think that's all of them. So my spirituality. So studying my spirituality, studying my soul helps me to teach these really incredible lessons to all my students. So you can see how you can work it all in a box. So let's see if Stacy answered again. Hi, Meredith. Remember, if you're a Soul Star, hit Soul Star. Oops, my computer is acting very weird. Let me see if I got Stacy. Stacy says, she says, I like to spread positivity. I don't know if you answered my question about membership. I'm a magnet to people, which is fine. I do enjoy helping others. I think that would be where my passion is. Definitely, definitely where your passion is. I really enjoy the other members. Great. I like when I get validated for my intuitive hits. It's just not flowing as much as I like. Probably because you're not practicing it as much as you like. And we do have an accountability partnership in membership. Or you could always just put up a post in membership, as you know, if it's for free, and say, I'd like to do readings for people, the first 10 people, and do readings and practice. My guess, Stacy, is that you're not practicing it. But here you are, you're not lost. You're just lacking the confidence in what you're meant to do. You love people, you love working with people, you love helping people, you love working with your intuition. You're not trusting it, which is a muscle that you have to build. It doesn't happen overnight. You get things right, you get things not so right, you don't understand what your messages you're getting. That comes in practice. So if you keep practicing it and you recognize community is important for you and seeing the change in people and getting validation, then that's what you do. And that'll take you further into your purpose, sweetie. So that will definitely help you. Okay. Rochelle, I have not scheduled the call yet because we're just starting to send it out. It'll probably be next week sometime. So we've not scheduled it just yet. And you will have to show up live though. So if it's at a time zone that doesn't work for you, we may have another call because I have clients all over the world. So what I want to talk to you about is I want to share a little bit of my story and then I'll come back to your questions because I'm going to do some coaching on this topic and why it's so important. Remember, if you're just joining, I'm doing a call where we're going to talk more about your soul's purpose. It's really soul alignment. That's super important. So if you type in purpose, you're going to get invited to a call outside of Facebook with me. And we're going to go through, I'll probably go through probably a meditation, a quick meditation, and probably a couple of lessons. I'm not really sure because I always let them channel it to me, but definitely a Q&A with me, definitely a more private, intimate Q&A gathering. All right, so type in purpose. So I wanted to just share a little bit about my own story and why this made me so clear. And I've been studying the soul for, I feel like, over 25 years. I think we're all probably, especially if we're spiritual people. I know I was raised in a religious household, and it wasn't religious in the sense that didn't allow me to have, except for the schooling. My mother was very expansive, so she allowed me to have my own way with my religion, which was really quite beautiful, and I'm very grateful to her because of that. And because of that, I was able to really get in touch with my spirituality and what was important to me. And then I fell out of it, actually, because I was very angry at the church. And then I got back into it in my own way, which was through my psychic abilities, actually. It was through my guidance with my guides. And then I've just played around with different things. So I've been studying this soul, what my soul is, why am I here? Ever since I think I've asked that question, which was probably at a very early age, like many of you. And what Spirit has really been teaching me is how important it is to really know our center, our truth, which is our soul. Our soul is here to experience life in a joyful, peaceful way. It's my intimate, I'm not going to find my soul in a written religion out there. I think those religions are beautiful and I think you can learn a lot from them. Well, I find my soul with an intimate conversation with myself, with my own truth. So the reason we're talking about purpose and alignment is it started with that for me. It started with like, what is this about? And I started out, which I've already told you, I started out thinking I was meant to be an actress, right? And then I got afraid that I couldn't be an actress. I was told I couldn't be an actress. So I went behind the scenes in TV, right? So if I thought that was my only purpose and stayed there, I would have been really miserable, unhappy, and probably would not be in a healthy place at all. But my soul said, there's more, get to know yourself. So I didn't set out to get to know more. I went into therapy and I started working with my therapist, and my therapist said, you wanted to be an actress, go to an improv class. You need to get out of this insecure place you're in. So I went to the improv class and I fell in love with improv, and then I fell in love with acting, but I didn't want to act. I was already at NBC. I didn't think I could. So it wasn't until the teachers and people were telling me you can do this, and I really fell in love with it, that I was like, I want to act. So I left acting and pretty much got the lead in an off-Broadway play right away. I auditioned for a play and I got it right away, the lead, got an off-Broadway play right away. And then I started acting. And I was doing that, and my psychic abilities just went off the charts. I started seeing deceased people everywhere, and I started hearing things, and I was getting locked in rooms, and it's a whole story that I am going to start sharing soon. And I had to learn how to work with it because it was making me crazy. My sensitivities were too much. I didn't understand where I began and somebody ended. Like I was just a blur. And I just started studying my psychic abilities to try to get a better grasp over who I was as an individual. And I had no interest in being a reader. But when I was studying, you have to learn how to read. And you have to practice it. And the first readings I did, I was so nervous, were off the charts. I had grandmother's names, very specific details that even blew me away. And I just started as a free thing. I started teaching people, organizing groups, because I'm an organizer. I always am. I'm always bringing people together. It's my thing. It's one of my gifts. And I would do these free readings, and all of a sudden people started paying me for it. And I was bookkeeping at the time and pursuing acting, and I hated bookkeeping, and I left bookkeeping, and I was pursuing my career as a reader, and I was doing really well. And I was also acting, and I was working on this murder case as a medium, and I had to go, a lot of you heard the story, and I had to go on set, and I didn't want to leave. And here I was, I moved to California. My father was helping me in a way in the very beginning, told everybody I'm leaving TV, I left TV to pursue acting. And here I was pursuing acting and finding it was no longer the answer to my soul. And what did I do? I listened to my soul. I didn't worry about people saying, oh, you're a failure, you couldn't make it. None of that even came as I didn't even give a shit. So I started doing readings for a living, and I called my commercial agents, and I took myself off the acting websites, and I was like, don't send me out anymore. I have no interest. And then I fell into this career completely and fell in love with it and started teaching out the gate. And through my evolution of this career, I founded Membership for Your Soul, Soul Finders Academy. I teach spiritual entrepreneurs how to run a business, and I get to talk with all of you. And my purpose in life for today, and has been, is to help people to recognize that the dreams in their heart are meant to be lived, not to be suffered. Because I truly and honestly believe that. And how I do that is through all these different things I offer up to my audience. Through my membership program, my Soul Finder Academy program, through my Spiritual Entrepreneur for Creative program, right? And that material and that curriculum, well, Soul Finder probably won't, because it's really great. It's about getting aligned with your soul. Membership for Your Soul, we're constantly adding curriculum to it. So it's a growing program, and that shifts and changes. But I didn't know back when I wanted to be an actress that the thing that I wanted is to help people believe in their dreams. I don't know when I finally got clear on that. But I know that when I get in clear with myself, it's, yeah, I believe in my dreams, even though people may have not believed in me. And I believe in everybody's dreams. There's never somebody who comes to me and tells me what they want to do that I ever think in my head they can't do it. I don't have it. Even if somebody who was 80 years old and 5'2" said they wanted to be a professional basketball player, I may say, interesting. Okay, what do we need to do to make it happen? And I don't know that that would happen, but I know that the journey to make that happen would be exactly what that soul needed. That is soul's purpose. It's alignment with your soul. So if you're enjoying, I'm going to come in and ask you questions in a second. This topic, make sure you type purpose, because we're going to go further into it. So in a private call, we're going to go into purpose. So what I want to give to you right now is, on this call, I want to give you a question to think about. How many of you know what your joy is? How many of you know what brings you joy? And if you don't know what brings you joy, why is it? For those of you who don't know, tell me that you don't know what brings you joy. For those of you who do know, and I know my soul stars know this, and I see a bunch of you on, tell me what your joy is. So if you know what your joy is, tell me what it is, okay? The most important thing about soul alignment is to know what gives you joy. Now, Stacy said it. She's like, people come to me. I like connecting with people. That's joy, right? Let's see what other people say. Someone said, Joni said animals. Joni said nature. Sharon said, I don't know. That's okay, Sharon. I'm going to help you. Louise said helping people. I love you, Roseanne. Tina said, I'll read that in a second. Sue, hello, another SFA. Remember, if you're SFA, hashtag SFA until we can find a better name. And that's Soul Finders Academy. My joy is art and animals. Sue. Cindy, my joy is being outdoors in nature. Great, I love this. Jennifer says, helping people find their truth. Christiana, I hope I'm always saying your name right. Helping others. Lisa, another soul star, my joy is helping others and listening to their problems. Nancy said painting. Yanette, I haven't seen you in a while. Animal and nature. Okay, so here's the thing. So let's say Eunice, another soul star. Music and dance, connecting with others via dance and my dogs, which Eunice has been doing that with kids, I believe, right? Eunice is a soul star. Jennifer, helping people find their truth. So here's the thing. Hello, Vivian, another SFA and a soul star. My joy is being in nature. Great. And listening. And Vivian is a moderator in SFA and has been a moderator in membership, and she definitely listens really, really well. Here's the thing. It's so fascinating to me. I had a friend visiting me here up in Marin, where I live, and I was taking her to all the places, the nature and just tennis and the things that I really love and why I moved here. And she was like, oh, you know, I really want to do this, you know, and she's a TV writer. I hope she won't mind me telling this story. And she's like, I don't know how to make it happen. And I said, you don't need to know how to make it happen. All you need to do is make sure you do it. Make sure that you do the things you enjoy. Because I didn't know that I went to college and I was studying accounting, and my brother said, accounting's not for you. You need to study communications, TV. You're more like assertive. You're more out there. So I didn't know what that was going to bring to me. I just went and studied it. I enjoyed it. I did an internship and MTV hired me. And then I went to the improv class because the my therapist told me to. And then I enjoyed acting. And then I went and studied psychic abilities because a medium told me I needed to in order to grow in my life. Then I found this. None of it was ever planned. All I was following was my joy. So if you don't know anything else, but all you need to know is that you love walking in nature, that's all you need to do. Just walk in nature. Walk in nature with an open heart, with an open mind, and get out of, this is what we teach in Soul Finders Academy, get out of the traps in your mind, that unconscious thinking that's saying, I'm walking in nature. My father would think I'm an idiot. What am I doing here? I'm not making money walking in nature. You have no idea what's going to happen there. You have no idea who you're going to run into. You have no idea what experience you're going to have with the trees, with the animals. I mean, friggin' man, I run into baby owls. I hung out with goats last week. They were up my block. I ran into a bobcat with my dogs. I wanted to play with us. I was like, go away, bobcat. Get the frig out of my face. I hung out with the fawns. There is information in all of that for me. And the most important thing about it all is it's a way of life. If my career doesn't fold perfectly into the way I want to live, I don't want that career. So all of you that are telling me you like to paint, you like nature, you like animals, you're supposed to be spending your time with these things. And if you don't know how you're supposed to make a living at it, all I ask you to do right now is to be with your joy. But you have to promise me something. You have to promise me that by being with your joy, you are going to be with your joy with an open heart. This is one of the first lessons we teach in Soul Finders Academy, and if my soul finders will speak up about this, because it's, you know, I'm not going to out them. They have to out themselves. The first lesson we give them is the minute you wake up, what are your thoughts? And every single person in that class, now everyone didn't comment, so I can't say that. Most everyone who commented was blown away by what they recognized. They couldn't believe the thoughts that were going through their head the minute they woke up. Those thoughts are keeping you from your truth and your passion and your life. Because think about it. If your joy is helping other people and you're waking up in the morning going, fuck, I got to pay those bills. Oh my goodness, I got to go to this job. I freaking hate this job. Oh, I don't want to get up. This sucks. I can't wait till I get home tonight. I'm just going to sit at the TV and I'm going to eat that Chinese food. And that's your only thought. Where the heck in your life is there room for anything to show up that resembles you helping people? You're trapped. You're in this like horrible little thing and it's not letting it in. So all I ask for you is to be in your joy this week, okay? So let me check in with everybody and see what you guys are doing. And remember, if you're just joining, super important to type in purpose, because we're going to be doing a very special call about this topic. And for those of you who heard me talk about Soul Finder Academy, if you're on the fence, you're not sure if you're right for it, you're not sure if it's right for you, you don't know if you can commit to it, join. Not join, sign up. You can't get in unless you talk to somebody. So you have to fill out an application. It's not a just join program. It's by application only. So you can go to soulfinderacademy.com, learn more about it, sign up for a call. It's not going to hurt you anything. It's not a sales call. Like, I went to a thing once, I'm not going to name the friggin' thing that it was. And they said, if you don't join blah, 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 you might as well put a gun to your head and pull the trigger now. I was like, what? It was crazy. It was crazy. It's a cultish thing that's out there that I'm not going to get into on a political conversation on this live. We don't do that. We want to know if you're a fit. So if you think you're a fit or you're on the fence about it, definitely sign up. But most importantly, sign up for that call, and we'll be talking more about that. Okay, so let's see where people are, if you know your joy. So we have Rochelle here, says, inspiring, educating, or empowering fellow nurses. Love this, Rochelle. And the patients we care for. Rochelle, that would be a great membership program, because you would touch so many more nurses all around the world. My dog and I, we used to be pet therapy dog. He was a pet therapy dog. This one, Micah, and that's Venus. And we used to do pet therapy work at Children's Hospital. And the nurses there blew me away. And whenever the dogs came in, and they told us this in the program, they said the nurses are going to need the love from the dogs. And they did. And it was great. I was happy to give it. And what the nurses went through was amazing to me to witness. So there are nurses all around the world that could benefit from that. You know, so a membership program, a digital program, here's when we move into a higher, if that's interest of you, it might not be of interest to you, but that's another way of reaching more and more people. Let me know what you think about that, Rochelle. Okay, let me see. Camille, Soul Star, always passionate about everything, LOL, stuck over so many years at the juncture, writing, hopeful for public speaking, helping others in whatever best way I can. So Camille is a Soul Star. And Camille, you've been doing phenomenal at stepping out into your purpose, and your purpose, you know, writing and helping others in speaking is all leading in the right direction. Those are the choices that you feel aligned with your soul, and those are the best choices for you. So the more that you continue to do those particular activities, we don't need to know what the end result is. All we need to know is that it feeds our heart, it feeds our soul, and we're going out and doing it. And the more you go out and do that, the more that you're going to meet opportunity. See, the spirit, you were the one who asked that amazing question about manifestation like 5 lives ago. You said, what does it take to manifest? How do we manifest? Why can't people manifest? And I went, oh, and it was a light bulb moment for me. I'm like, when you're aligned with your soul, you automatically manifest, because you're not in fear, you're not in scarcity, you're not in lack consciousness. Doesn't mean that those thoughts don't come through every now and then, but you're aware of them. What you are in is you're aligned with your soul and you're living your truth. So the universe is like, light bulb, her light is on. Let me bring her the opportunities now. And your light bulb was on and you're like, I see the opportunities. And they're opportunities that if you were in negative Nelly mind, you may be thinking, I can't do that right now. I can't tell you how many people come to me. Well, they don't come to me, but I've seen this in the course of my life, of my career. And they say they can't afford something, and that's cool. But many of them really have a lot of money in savings. Now, I'm all for retirement and taking care of yourself. I don't tell people put things on credit cards. I am not one of those people, even though I do it myself. But what got me is really the truth of it was they didn't know how to invest in themselves. They didn't feel themselves worthy enough for an investment. And they were so afraid of this scarcity, lack, fear consciousness that they didn't want to touch all of that. And that was interesting to me. Of course, I didn't say anything because I respect people's opinions and what they want to do. It was more of an observation that I shared with my audience. So I don't know how I got there, but I did. So you're investing in yourself, Camille. You are moving forward. And I told you yesterday on membership, and we both agreed, I said, I don't even recognize you from when you joined membership. I don't even recognize you. You are a completely different person. And it's so beautiful to see. So, so beautiful. So those of you just joining me now, I'm going to go for more questions. I definitely want you to be in your joy. That's where your purpose is. Type in purpose if you want to come and join me on a private call, on a Zoom call. And we're going to be talking more about this. It'll probably be a little curriculum, a little studying. And I'm known for my meditation. So hopefully we'll do maybe a 5-minute meditation. and then I'll take Q&A. So that call is not fully scheduled yet, but get in line for it. So it's not going to be on Facebook. All right, let's see who else we have here. Sometimes it's hard to see the things. Yannette says, I feel that I need to break free of this life I'm leaving now, and I have such a hard time. So I understand that, Yannette, because I struggled with that a tiny bit with before I moved. I knew that I needed to break free of living in LA, but I didn't know where I was going to just yet. And I don't know if that's what's going on with you, because you may be moving and stuff. But Spirit got me very clear, and they told me, because when I left New York, I left after 9/11, so my body was in complete trauma, and I had to get out of there. And that was New York City. And when I was leaving LA and I didn't know where I was going, they said, you can't do it that way again. So you need to make sure that you fully embrace and enjoy your life in LA before you go to wherever you're going to go. And what was happening with that, though, is I was disassociating with a lot of friends, because I was just pulling back, and they were like, yeah, you need to do this right now. And I was like, you're leaving me with no one. And they're like, don't worry, don't fill the empty space with distractions. Just do what you love. So I was doing yoga, and I was playing tennis, and I was hiking with the dogs, and I would go to the beach with the dogs, and I would, go see certain friends. I had a lot of really good friends in LA from New York. And that's what I did. And I have to tell you, I'm now living here where I'm living, and I'm doing all of those things. And the interesting thing is, and I knew this when I bought this house, that I wasn't going to be here for long, but it had everything that I needed. So no matter where I go, because it's been an interesting experience, this move for me, wherever I go, I'm still bringing all those things that I love. So to break free of the life you're in now, we don't want to worry about the life you're in. You want to continue to walk towards the life you desire. So what kind of life do you want to have? I knew that I wanted to be able to play tennis. I knew that I wanted freedom. I knew that I wanted to be able to go to yoga. I'm in a yoga teacher training starting in September, because I want to deepen my practice. Those are the things that are important to me. So I don't worry about where I'm stuck or trapped here. I just keep doing the things that bring me joy. Does this make sense? I hope it does. Okay, again, purpose, just giving you that word so that for those of you joining, I'm doing a private call. So I'm just letting you know that I'm doing that private call. Okay, so like I said, it's hard sometimes to scroll down. Let's see what Roseanne says. So Roseanne's in SFA and Soulstar. Yes, I've been in the scarcity, lack, etc., not knowing how to invest in myself. Now I did with SFA, just knew I had to, now or never, so to speak. I really need to have growth and momentum now. It's almost to the point of my wanting to give up if I don't do this now. And you're doing great. You're doing incredible, Roseanne, with the stepping into the confidence and stepping into what you've been doing. And we're only in the 3rd week of the course, so it's so great to see that you're doing that. Okay, so let me ask another question. Christy, hi, Christy. She says, my joy is inspiring people, my animals and family. I love that. I love that. So you may not know exactly how to make a career out of that, or you do, but if your joy is inspiring people, my animals and my family, there's something, it could be retreats on a farm where you're doing goat yoga and you're bringing fractured families together to come together with the animals, and they are hanging out with the animals on the farm, and you're running these beautiful, I'm getting chills with this, so if anybody wants to do this, you should. And you're running these retreats where they're learning with equestrian, horses and goat yoga, and they're maybe feeding the chickens. And because of the experience of the animals and how animals work in community, the families are learning how to heal the fracture in their families. And you're facilitating these beautiful meditations. Christy, how does that sound? Let me know. So that's what I would say to you, Christy. Mary said, hi, Mary. Yes, thank you. Always chasing the self-imposed shoulda and coming up short all the time to boot. I know better, but I need to get unstuck. So the way to get unstuck, Mary, and for anybody else who's struggling with that, is to not get worried about, I got to get unstuck. I got to get unstuck. What do you think that causes? That causes more barriers in our lives. So it's not about, I got to get unstuck. I got to get unstuck. It's about, when I used to say to Spirit, how do I deal with this block? How do I get past this block? And they said, you go around it. You go around it, you live your life, and whatever you need to learn that's creating some type of havoc in your system will show up while you're living your life, not while you're staring at that block. So the should-haves, you want to just stay away from the should-haves, and you want to just walk towards your joy. You want to just walk towards it. That's all you need to know right now. But please, I am begging every single one of you to do it with a commitment of an open heart for the next 30 days. Please do that for me. It'll change your life. Do something joyful every single day, even if it's the same thing. Now, for those of you who struggle with knowing what your joy is, because somebody had said that down below and I didn't get to answer that question, that's where the 1 to 10 exercise got born, and that's on my YouTube channel. So I was going through the same thing after doing the Souls List, living in my house, but then I was hitting that rut of my career. And for those of you just joining, type in purpose and you're going to get invited to a private call. So I'm just going to leave that up for a second. So I was bored and feeling like I hit a wall and didn't know, nothing was giving me joy, and my business wasn't at the time. And I was like, what am I going to do? And Spirit said to me, that's distracting to me. And Spirit said to me, we want you to rate your day from 1 to 10. We want, at the end of the day, we want me to go through all the events of your day and rate the events from 1 to 10, 1 being the least fun, 10 being the most fun. And I did that. And the exercise is on YouTube. It's called the 1 to 10 exercise. And it's really good. And it was amazing. It was mind-blowing to me. Because all of a sudden I realized, oh my goodness, just petting my dog and getting kisses, my dog's getting kisses, is a 10. Just going to the supermarket and talking to the cashier person taking my money was a 10. Just going and walking down the block and listening to a podcast was a 10. And I started discovering all these joys. So they said to me, you have to do 7 to 10s every single day. And I wanted to. And I just kept building on it. And that's where the breakthrough came through in my business of what I was supposed to do. And everything fell into place. That's where I knew I had to move, and ended up here. And many of you have seen what I look at out my window, which is just stunning. I mean, it doesn't even do it justice. So that's what will help you. Okay, so let me just check in real quick, and let me just see what else I had on here. So one of the things I wanted to say too, the 1 to 10 exercise will also help you, because if you don't know what your joy is, and you don't know what you're meant to do for a living, by doing that exercise and inviting joy into your life, the universe is really going to help you to create that path towards your passion, towards what you're meant to be doing for a living, okay? So let me know if this is resonating, if this is helping. Look at that. Love this, Rochelle. Nurses need pet therapy too, and then my soul alignment. Just finished the illustrations of my training manual right before this live, created by a nurse, inspired by patients, and revolutionizing bedside care. I love this. Rochelle, you may really want to think about a membership program so that you can reach more, but step by step, that's congratulations on that. It's really wonderful. Good for you. Okay, so let's see. Anybody else? Let me know if this is resonating. Remember, if you're joining, we're doing a very special call. It's called Purpose. Just type in Purpose, and you're going to get invited to a special Zoom call. And for those of you who are thinking about joining Soul Finder Academy, where you learn how to align with your soul, you can't just join. You have to get on a call with somebody on my team. Go to soulfinderacademy.com and fill out the application and set up a call. What do you got to lose, right? You don't want to do it? You don't want to do it. We're not going to come haunt you. All right, let's see what we have. I wonder if Christy is still on here. I wanted to see. So Joanne says not enough 10s. So you can change that, Joanne, because look at my 10s. My 10s cost nothing, you know, except going to the grocery store and buying food. So they cost nothing, which is great. Definitely resonating. Thank you. Yannette said, that's why I don't like this thing. All right, I'm going to try to do it this way. Oh, that is better. Oh my God, Marilyn, you just inspired me to do something I want to do for a while. Visit a lion rescue habitat. Good for you, Yannette. I'm so glad that I inspired you. That's wonderful. All right. So joy is within your heart and soul. Patricia says, working with old people, working with people all ages with severe physical, mental, emotional need is miraculous. I love that. I love that, Patricia. And God bless you. I love that. I got chills from that. So if this is your passion, this is your joy, that's great. Keep doing it because it's needed, right? My joy, I get the joy in just, I love talking to people. Oh, I'm frozen now. Okay, now I'm back. I live in the hills. So my passion is talking to people. So I always find joy in that. Okay. Let's see. Roseanne, we do have a lot in common. We're going to talk about that in SFA for sure. Okay, it seems like this is all working for you guys. Does anybody have any questions right now? Hi, Iris. Oh my goodness, so nice to see you on this. I don't know if you're still here. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm seeing. It seems like I got to everybody. Melissa, I saw that you said you lost your life savings and you're done with that, and it's a good look. I'm not speaking to what you're going through because I don't do that. I have unless you're being coached by me, it's a different story of how I deal with certain things. But it's a good story to be done with because it's not how we're supposed to be living in this life. So I'm glad that you're doing that. Camille, you are so welcome. Okay, everyone. So it looks like I think this will be a great introduction to the call. So purpose, type in purpose, and we'll go more in depth in this. You'll get invited to a private call. It's not scheduled as of yet. I don't know why I keep doing quotes, but you will be invited to that special call. And we're going to be talking about why soul alignment is more important than purpose and how you find your purpose through your soul alignment. And then for those of you who are interested in Soul Finder Academy, and if you're on the fence and you're not sure, remember, we don't do any selling. We tell you about the program and sell the program on that call if you're a right fit. So if you're on the fence, you're not sure, check it out, get on a call. And Solil, definitely join, definitely listen from the beginning. So that is it. And wait, hold on, I'm gonna see if there's anything. Answer this question, Brittany. What do you do if you like doing more than one thing? For example, I like being around children. I'd also wanted to work in a drug rehabilitation program. How do you know? You don't box it up. I actually answered this question, sweetie. So if you could go back, I don't remember how far in. I talked about the boxes and how we don't box things up. So you don't want to box it up. You want to combine it. So drug rehabilitation and being around children. So it may be you may want to work in a facility. I'm always about creating my own thing because I like that more. But you maybe go to a drug facility, a drug rehabilitation center, and say, I want to create a program for the kids that parents are going through this. I want to help the kids to make better choices and get them into play and do incredible things. And when they come to visit the parents, I'd love to do this thing with them. When I was in Manhattan, I have a thing for teenage moms. And I proposed a program to a teenage mom home. And I was going to bring acting and improv and writing to them, creative endeavors to them, because they had no outlets of expression. And a lot of these moms who were in this foster, this home with their children, they're about to give birth, they were pregnant, were going to be thrown out of the system because they were turning 18. And most of them never even had a home of their own. And now they're bringing a child into their lives. So it was a real education for me. And it was something I wanted to bring to this program. And they called me 2 days after I moved to start the program. So, and I haven't had a chance to find it's not the right time for me to do it here. It is something that I plan on doing. So Brittany, you can do something like that. Don't wait for it to appear on the outside. It's like what we said to Rochelle with her nursing, and she's created something for other nurses based out of a need. There's a need there, and there's also a passion that you have. So create something of your own and bring it to a facility and see if they're interested. And if that one isn't interested, bring it to someone else. There's definitely going to be something. Maybe bring it to a school. Who knows that these parents, these kids are struggling with addicted parents or something, or some type of drug addiction. Think about it that way. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know. All right, guys. So again, you can type in purpose and get invited to that private call on Zoom. And once again, thank you so much for being part of my audience. And I will see you very, very soon. So take care and have an incredible day or evening whenever you're watching this. Bye. Oh, one more thing. If you're watching the replay, let us know you're watching the replay. Hit replay. So just type in replay. Should have said that earlier.